everybody. Welcome to my first weekly video. I'm really new at this, and I'm of course tempted to talk about ideas for videos and plans and infrastructure. And then I thought, you know, maybe it's time we should get around to talking about some music. So I want to kick it off with what I call suppitude, which is a little bit of a talk about things that are going on and what sort of musical stuff is in the boiler. So first, let's take a look at North stuff. We've got a couple of tracks from the Drowning in Sky release concert in 2008. The concert was recorded both in multi-track audio and multi-track video. Now the multi-track audio is kind of tied up, it needs to be mixed, but there are some things out there that we may be able to release. So the first is the videographer cut together for me a sort of demo to just kind of show what was possible with the multiple cameras that he had. And the song that he chose was Anna's Train, which is a fantastic one from the record. So I do have a video demo of that live performance of Anna's Train. It is using camera audio, but in some cases the camera audio is actually not too bad. So I mean, it's not going to be a polished recording, but it might be something really cool that we could release as an insider's release to let you get a glimpse of how the show footage came out. Another song from the concert that I'd love to get out there is a song called Second Rate. It was actually a new tune, was not on the record, was written right before the show. And not really sure how the multi-track turned out on it, but if I can get some good camera audio on it, I might be able to release just an audio track. And if the video looks good, I might even be able to piece together a video thing for it. So that's another song I'd think about getting out there. The last North tune that's kind of on the first line radar of things that we could possibly release is a song called First Night of December, which some North fans may remember from some of the months leading up to the concert. It was actually a song that we did look at putting on the record, and we roughed it in the studio to put it on the record. But as we moved forward with the production of the album, we had to drop a couple of things here and there, and that was one of the songs that didn't make the cut. But what I do want to do is give another listen to the studio roughs I've got and see if we might have a cool kind of rough that we can release there. The second category of stuff that I want to look at releasing is new stuff that I have some rough recordings or could put together rough recordings for relatively easily. These first couple of songs surrounds me, and I have a working title for something called the Bee Song. That's a long story I'll talk about in another video. But these are two really new compositions. I've actually talked about this one on the blog a little bit. This is one that is just getting finished now. These are some tunes that we could rough up and really show the stuff that's brand new, the stuff that's being written right now. There's a handful of songs here together, As the Crow Flies, Greatness, Mango, and Light Street. These are tunes that actually were written right around the time the record was coming out. Mango was actually supposed to be performed at the Drowning in Sky release show, but had to be cut from the set because we ran short on time. Some of these were written right after that in 2009. As the Crow Flies was actually done probably in 2007. But this is all unreleased stuff that's from the late North and early post-North era that are in pretty good shape, and I could rough them up and potentially share those. These two tunes, Half a Lifetime Ago and Flamethrower, have very, very different stories behind them, which is something else that we might talk about in another video. In both cases, they were started a long time ago and then finished just like within the past couple of months. So they have that in common, and those are some tunes that we could also rough up and share. These last two are kind of some little bit more edgy things. They're both a cappella songs, actually. Left on Bass is a tune that I'm actually thinking about arranging for 5 or 6 parts. I've got a good starting point on it. I've really got the song kind of written start to finish in my head, but I haven't arranged all the vocal parts yet. This is a really crazy, kind of hyperactive, fun kind of a cappella piece. Weather Vane is like the other end of the spectrum. Weather Vane is a single voice a cappella piece that's almost kind of jazzy and really largely improvised. It's kind of got a basic concept behind it, and then I improv on top of that. So there's a bunch of stuff here that could get roughed up and turned into some nice audio tracks. You know, again, roughs, but some cool insiders releases, and maybe even a couple of those could be done as sort of live rough cut videos. So we'll play around with that idea. The last category here is just a couple of covers that are on the radar. I talked about in my introductory video how there's a whole ton of covers, really good covers I'd love to play around with doing. And the list in my head is really, really long. But what I wanted to do is pick out just a couple that I'm sort of giving my attention to first. This first one is Mad About You, a song by Sting from back in the 80s. I've actually performed it live at a couple of concerts, in a couple of cases done it with Marcus and Hans actually as an ensemble piece, and it came out really good. I'm thinking about seeing if I can bust out a solo version of that and getting that into an audio or maybe even a live video rough to share as an insider's release. This tune, Gravity by Vienna Teng, is actually a song I've been looking at adapting for guitar just because it's a song I really, really love. Vienna Teng, if you haven't heard of her, is a fantastic songwriter. I'm probably going to do some, at least 1 or 2 videos on her, some of her material that has really, really inspired me. Really great stuff. Also on the list of covers, I've got a couple of special requests that were made back in the day by key people that I kind of want to make good on if I can. They were originally intended for North, of course, but I'm going to see what I can do to sort of make good on those promises. And then, as I said, the big long list of other ideas which I can talk about down the road as we go forward. So that's about it. That's kind of the stuff that's on the immediate radar about things that we could start making our first insiders releases and maybe even a couple of real freebie public releases. And I'd love to hear from you on what your thoughts are on this stuff. Is there anything here that jumps out at you? Is there anything here that you'd really like to hear or see? Because I'd love to maybe kind of prioritize things a little bit differently depending on what you want to see and hear. So thank you very much for all the support. All of that is really appreciated. I'm trying to build up a little momentum here and get something going. So hope to hear from you soon and see you next week.